I think this story reigns true to us adults as well, how when a crisis happens, any kind of crisis, sometimes we have a tendency to overreact, maybe just start crying and hyperventilating, and we have to remind ourselves to remain calm, to breathe. Hi, Postville Community Church. I'm excited to be joining you today. My name is Shelley, and I've been attending PCC for probably a little over 10 years now. I'm a little bit about myself. I've worked in business management and accounting for over 15 years. I've served in several leadership capacity roles. I'm also a military spouse and have served as a Navy ombudsman. I'm a mother to 3 little girls, and today I'm here to speak to you about leading in a crisis situation. First, I'd like to start off by defining what is a crisis. Well, the definition of a crisis is a time of intense difficulty, trouble, or danger. Well, before we get started, I just wanted to share a little story with you. I have a 4-year-old who can be difficult at times. And she was playing in the backyard a couple of weeks ago and came running in, crying and screaming and hyperventilating. And I got down on my knees and asked her, let's breathe through this. Let's calm down. And as she was calming down, I'm thinking in my head, what happened? Did she get stung by a bee? What's going on? So as we got her to calm down, I asked her, are you in pain? Is something hurting? She said, no, I'm just scared. I have a splinter. So I explained to her that, well, we're going to try to get the splinter out. And if we can't, God designed our bodies to do amazing things. And this splinter will get out on its own. I think this story reigns true to us adults as well, how when a crisis happens, any kind of crisis, sometimes we have a tendency to overreact, maybe just start crying and hyperventilating, and we have to remind ourselves to remain calm, to breathe. And as a person leading through this situation, it's important that we help that individual to breathe, to calm down, to listen. As a leader, we need to listen, find out what's happening, what's going on. Fear can be very powerful. We even saw this back in Genesis after the sin, the fall, when Adam and Eve ate from the apple. In Genesis 3:8, I just want to share that with you. And they, Adam and Eve, heard the sound of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day, and the man and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Lord God among the trees of the garden. But the Lord God called to the man and said to him, where are you? And he said, I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid. They were going through a crisis, and they were afraid. Fear can be powerful, especially during a crisis. And I believe that's why it says in the Bible so many times, do not fear. In Isaiah 41:10, it says, do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. This is important to remember, that fear might be powerful, but God is more powerful. The next step would be to listen and assess the situation. Maybe someone has come to you seeking advice, or maybe you're an employer who has an employee whose family member is sick from COVID, and you don't know as the leader what to do. The best thing to do is just to listen. Sometimes the person or individual experiencing the crisis doesn't know what they need at the moment. Maybe they need medical attention. Maybe they need some financial assistance, and you could send them in the right direction of where to obtain that financial assistance. Maybe they just need someone to talk to, and for you to listen. And that's the best thing that you could do is listen. After the situation has been resolved, it's best to check in on that individual regularly, follow up, follow through. If you had promised to do something, make sure that you see through to the end. Oftentimes, it can be difficult to continuously checking in on that person or following through once the issue has been resolved. But it's important for the relationship, and it's just also important that that person knows they can come to you again and again if needed. Something I also wanted to talk about that's oftentimes not always discussed is self-care. As a leader, we need to remember to take care of ourselves to avoid burnout. Spend time in prayer, spend time reading the scriptures. I like to go running. That's how I alleviate some stress. I like to read. I like to be in my Bible and praying. And I encourage you to find a way to take care of yourself, because in order to take care of others, you need to take care of yourself first. And we need to remember that self-care is very important. Well, I hope that you were able to learn a little bit about what to do in a crisis situation. Let's remember to remain calm, to listen and help assess the situation, also to follow through and check in on that individual regularly, and most importantly, self-care for yourself. Thank you for allowing me this opportunity to spend it with you. I look forward to the day that we can all be in fellowship again with each other at church. Take care.